One word can describe the game: disappointment. Not because it's broken or unplayable, on the contrary, it runs smooth as butter with 1080p 60 FPS, have perfect controls. Then, what is the problem? Well, the gameplay disappointed me. But I think before going into more details why, I'll walk you from start to finish the journey of Kayron, the main character. In other words, the story. Spoilers ahead. It's bad. You play as Kayron, a young man who just finished his training in SimRob security service and show extraordinary talent. Of course he is. Now he can be escort pilot. Security guard in space. On his graduation day, Kayron is called to the office of Robert Norwich, a friend of his father. He gives you a present: the most technologically advanced long-range fighter spaceship, the Darkstar 1. It has intelligent upgrade system which can integrate technology from any space race in the galaxy. Also, in the words of Robert,
besides that, you're literally able to expand your ship when you have enough experience. Weapon mounts, improved hull, stronger engines, everything can be upgraded, yeah? However you like.
Amazing.
Another way to put it, there is a simple upgrade system. Kayron's father wanted him to have the ship after he finished his training. Oh yes, and he's dead, killed. What follows is the tutorial: movement, shooting, grabbing containers, etc. The interesting part is the intelligent upgrade system.
You are already aware that this is no ordinary ship. It has a unique feature. It is able to transform. I don't mean simply extending it by implementing equipment. No, I mean it will change. It will grow. It will grow stronger and it will become more agile. You will need these organic artifacts in order to transform your ship.
What this basically means is you find enough crystals, or more commonly called artifacts, and you can upgrade one of 3 parts of your ship: hull, wings and engines. All of them have their benefits. Very simple upgrade system. You have 1 point for the ship and 1 for the plasma cannon. More on this in the gameplay section. Here you find that Kieran's father designed this unique ship using ancient artifacts. After the tutorial is finished, Robert wants to meet you and tell you something very important. It turns out that Kieran's father was killed by sabotaging his ship. An alien race by the name of Tool bribed Jack Forrester to do it. Robert kept this from Kieran so he could focus on his training, and in the meantime he is looking for his location, but he is probably in another cluster. Kieran have to become a better pilot if he wants to have a chance against Jack. So you have to make some money by any means necessary, buy new weapons, fuel drive that allows you to make bigger jumps to other systems, and upgrade the ship. At some point after their first meeting, Kieran will receive a message from Robert to go to Anomi system and find a guy named Lazar who maybe knows where you can find Jack. He tells you that he was on the station, took off and don't know where to. Fortunately, a woman named Iona approaches Kieran and tells him that she knows people that might help, but she needs a ride to her people. Yeah, she smells like trouble. Iona says that you have to travel to Alpha Centauri cluster and meet Delano, who waits for you in the Sol system. When you arrive at the train station, the contact tells both of them that he passed through here and went in the direction of Mortar territory, one of many alien races. He says also that you don't have good weapons and he will give you a laser if you help him get rid of a pony gang. You kill them, got the weapon, receive a key for a system, info that Jack may be in a research station there, and on to the next waypoint. Keys unlock systems. When you arrive there, the research station don't let you land, but fortunately 2 drones attack the station and it's up to Kieran to stop them. After you defeat them, you're allowed to land. The mortar there tells you that Jack was here. On the station assumed that he is one of Dr. Zarkov's people, because he had his identification codes. He spoke with few researchers and left. Kieran asks who is Zarkov and where to find him. Zarkov works on secret government projects, and just before he left the station, Jack spoke with him. He's probably on Raptor territory on another research station. You get a key for the first system there, and you're off. When you reach a train station at Raptor's territory, where you're supposed to meet Iona's people, you got ambushed, Iona kidnapped, Kieran knockout. After you wake up, you got a message that she owes a lot of money to pilots and you have to do some jobs if you want to see her. Yep, I called it. She's trouble. No one saw that coming. One of the gang leaders is an honorable pirate, the other is not. You do the jobs, one was to protect a train station. You don't do anything bad in this mission, so you won't feel bad, I guess. The bad pirate Cabro, have Fiona, the good one Ramirez help you to bring her back, and you've become friends. And there is a cutscene that shows Fiona have a good heart, and that what's got her in trouble. Ramirez gives you information about Zarkov. The scientist is in another castle, cluster, on some research station. You have to meet there on a train station, old friend of Ramirez called Mitri. From him, Kieran have to get the permission to land on the research station. I'm not going to describe every single mission, you got it by now. The princess is in another castle. I'll summarize quickly the rest. You go somewhere, do something for someone, become friends with them, follow the breadcrumbs, jump to next cluster. Through a big part of the story, Kieran thinks Zarkov is kidnapped by Jack. At one mission, a guy helps you, but you are ambushed by a tow cruiser and kills him. Suddenly Kieran shows emotion for a person he barely knows, and I don't care.
They killed him!
Kieran, we must get out of here. We have no chance against them. We should return to the Tin Mound system and ask Jiju for reinforcements.
He's not developed enough for me to care. Kieran returns with help and destroys the cruiser. While chasing Jack and doing his thing, Kieran receives a call from Robot who wants Kieran to return to him because he blown the cruiser and is making problems, I guess. Kieran refuses and continues his journey. After that, behind Robot, a mysterious alien shows up and says,
I never should have let him go.
His death is a necessary consequence of your failure.
Never saw that twist coming. It turns out Zarkov helped Jack to find where the two are hidden, which constantly attack different systems. Oh, now Jack is a good guy and not responsible for the death of Chiron's father? And Iona is his girlfriend? Where did that come from? What? Why? Oh, forget it. Moving on. Robert speaks in front of all races and wants everyone to attack the tool. They agree, not looking evil at all. Later, a small tool ship approaches the Darkstar 1 and tells nothing is what it seems. By the way, the two are only women, I think. Karen is happy with such thought.
Who are those people?
Imagine house sharing with 500 women.
You speak again with the woman and she explains that the bad guys are hidden somewhere and you have to activate satellites to find them. You do it, find the place, go there, the people you've become friends with come to help. You face the giant pyramid who spits constantly the same drones you fight through the whole game. Robert is betrayed, locked in his ship by his overlord. He decides to help Chiron and sends the weak spot of the pyramid ship. He gets killed, and then this.
Thanks to the information that Robert sent us, Chiron and I were able to identify a weak point in the mothership. To date, the Scar's protective shield has been impenetrable. By modulating the plasma cannons on Chiron's ship, it may be possible to tear a hole in the shield. During the attack, Chiron will veer off and fly to this position. It is of the utmost importance that he reaches it. That's why it's essential that we cover him, irrespective of the price. As soon as he punctures the protective shield, he will fly through this trench to reach the interior of the ship. There, one of the main generators must be destroyed. The chain reaction will be sufficient to destroy the ship.
Then good luck.
We will all need it.
They ripped Star Wars. Why I'm not surprised. Chiron gets inside the mothership. There the controlling of the ship is a bit different and you can't use the plasma cannon. Shoot the weak spot, Darkstar 1 escapes, the tip of the pyramid flies away, setting up for a sequel. As you see, the story is boring and even dumb. If I have to go into details and take a look at the story bit by bit, the video will probably be 2 hours. Chiron is written badly and he is constantly doing so many inconsistent and illogical things. It's a cliche story and it's not even funny. Chiron is angry at someone and as soon as he meets him, let's have a drink. He forgets why he was angry, but the thing that makes me laugh is when Iona was kidnapped. After the cutscene, you read this message. You still require her assistance during your search for Jack and she's obviously felt very comfortable with you on the Darkstar 1. I couldn't stop laughing at this. I think the dev wrote Chiron as a very horny character. This is confirmed by his comment about the two race.
Imagine house sharing with 500 women.
And from where Iona is Jack's girlfriend come from? It felt so out of place. It's just there for the sake of it. Twists, turns, excitement. Woohoo! If you do a twist, maybe give a hint or make it sensible. This is anything but that. At one point of the story, Iona mentioned that Jack might not have anything to do with the tool, but Chiron ignores her, stating that he is not wrong, and why does she care if he is? If this was the hint, it's badly done. And Robert's betrayal is seen from miles away, and the dev decided to reinforce it in the cutscene where he called all the races to go on war with the tool. He has this evil face. Also, how Robert manages to keep hidden the most advanced ship from everyone, and how come no one until Chiron got the ship shows interest in the big green crystals that you collect? They are everywhere in the galaxy. And Robert is counting on Chiron to kill Jack to keep his secret? If Chiron found so easily Jack, so Robert and the aliens can do it. The plan is stupid. The plot is not deep. This is the short version. It took me more time to beat the game than I anticipated, because I accidentally 100% the game. This means I got all the artifacts and liberated all systems. The first thing you have to know about the gameplay is, it's not a simulation, it's an arcade shooter. Also, it's a semi-open world. You can travel to any system at any time, but with a loading screen. So, partially open world? And the most important thing, it's recommendable to play with mouse and keyboard. There are way too many buttons for a controller and I don't even know if the game have a controller support. Nevertheless, mouse and keyboard combo works without a hitch. Let me first explain the upgrade system. In certain asteroids there is a green crystal that the ship detects when you enter the system. When its ship is close to one, automatically picks it up, and when you get certain amount, you receive 1 point for the plasma cannon and 1 for the ship upgrade. You have to choose between hull, wings and engines for the ship. They are all important, especially when you choose what type of person you want to play, pirate, trader, hunter. You start with one easily laser, but with the first upgrade point in the tutorial you are encouraged to choose wings to have another one. It's a very simple, straightforward and not very interesting upgrade system. More weapons, better agility, better hull. That's it. At the end of the game, I had 5 front weapons and 3 turrets, and with ease I won every dogfight. What's interesting is the plasma cannon. Well, a bit interesting. Here are your ship's special abilities. You start with weapon boost. You do more damage for a certain period of time. After that, the plasma cannon has to recharge. I will say it directly. Half of the special abilities are useless or intertwined. There are 6 in total. Weapon boost, self-explanatory. Overload, a plasma laser that takes down shields, can affect nearby enemies, and useless. I will explain why in a second. Shield boost may be useful in the beginning. EMP, disable target weapon system, higher levels may affect the engines. Plasma shield, almost the same as the other, but this one, once activated, you can round ships and do damage, which is actually cool. The last, best and overpowered is Time Shock. One clarification, none of the abilities affect cruisers. Back to Time Shock. When activated, a giant grief wave hits regular ships and they are frozen completely. Sitting ducks. On the highest levels, the enemies are waiting to be shot for 25 seconds, more than enough time to destroy up to 6 or 7 ships. This makes, once you get it, the game really easy and makes the EMP, overload and the shield boost useless. I know I'm using that word a lot, but think about it. Why would you need them? Okay, I was using the shield boost at first couple of hours, but then I got Time Shock. There is a catch. Time Shock doesn't affect tool drones, cruisers and boss type ships. If I am facing a cruiser or drones, Plasma Shield is my choice. For boss type ships, Weapon Boost. This is the Holy Trinity. Time Shock, Plasma Shield, Weapon Boost. Once you have them, you become dead in space. When you get enough crystals for an upgrade, in other words, when you level up, the ship physically changes. It's a nice little touch, which I didn't expect to be literal despite the fact it was stated in the tutorial. You don't need a controller, I strongly suggest mouse and keyboard. The aiming and movement are superb with them. This is an arcade shooter. It plays almost like 6 Degrees of Freedom type of shooters. You can go backwards, but it's not really fast, and strafing is also slower than moving forward. I love the shooting and movement. They feel good and controls are responsive. You start with one laser, but you quickly can buy another one or missile launcher after your first level up. You can have both of them at the same time, you just have to switch between them. Those are the front weapons. You can also buy turrets. You get them a little bit later in the game. With the exception of the missiles, turrets and front weapons cost energy. The energy is shown in the upper right corner of the screen alongside with the shield and damages on the ship. On paper, this sounds like a very good idea. A little bit stretchy, right? Should I mix front weapons? Should I put more or less turrets? Through my 31 hours with the game, I found out that the best strategy is to put as much as laser type front weapons and hold in your inventory a missile launcher for cruisers. This is for one reason. Laser may cost energy and it's often not enough, then maybe 1 or 2 will work. When you destroy an enemy and by the time you are looking for your next victim, the energy recharges a little bit and it's enough to kill the enemy. I never felt that I don't have enough to kill everyone on the screen. At one point I was destroying ships with couple of shots and it cost me a lot of energy, but my recharging was fast. To be honest, this strategy will be most effective after you pass at least 1/3 of the game. By that time your safest bet is mixture of lasers and missile launcher, because you don't have enough upgrades to sustain damage from multiple ships or to recharge energy fast. After half of the game, when I unlock more slots for the front weapons, I just annihilate everyone. The difference between the lasers are the damage they do, the energy they cost and the fire rate. Oh, and the color and form, of course. At some point of the game you can buy lasers that do more damage to shields than the hull, but I just look at how much damage the weapon do on the hull than anything else. It was enough. Missiles are 3 types. Swarm, 6 small missiles that do less damage and fly in a straight line but can hit multiple targets, effective at close range. Hellfire, heat-seeking missile with high agility that do decent amount of damage, and the Big Bang. Low agility, does tons of damage, useful mostly against cruisers. You probably miss regular ships. At first, the best strategy I found is a mixture of Hellfire and Big Bang. In the beginning, Hellfire missiles are one hit kill and very useful, but at some missions you have to fight cruisers, and here comes the Big Bang. It's a sight to see. Explosion after explosion after explosion. Beautiful. We are not sure if it's even possible to kill cruisers with lasers, and how long it will take, if it's possible. After I've got option to put 3 or more front weapons, I got rid of Hellfire missiles and stuck only with Big Bang. I was powerful enough against regular ships, but I still have to be prepared for cruisers. What was really annoying is that there was no button to change between missile times, or at least I didn't find it. You have to do it in the middle of the dogfight while you're taking damage. There is almost no difference between all weapons. When you level up, you're buying the same weapons, just they do more damage and cost more money. This was so disappointing. The core gameplay loop can get really boring really fast. In the first 5 hours I had to grind for money, maybe a bit more than I needed to, so I can be effective in battle. That was the time when I had most fun and died the most. Later I found how to optimize the gameplay. Just bear with me, I'm starting far away with this one. In the tutorial it's not explained properly how to find crystals. They are in asteroids, so I thought I have to enter every single asteroid to see if the ship will detect a crystal. At one point I had enough and stopped doing it. Then I realized on the map is shown where are the crystals. I wasted my time. There are other things that are not properly explained. This is just one of many examples. There are 2 other ways to get crystals. The first is by liberating system from pirates, you get it by just doing it, and the other is from smugglers. I think it's random, but when you enter a trade station, you will see a flashing icon smuggler. For a small amount of money you get a crystal. If you happen to enter a trade station before you go into asteroid and a smuggler shows up, it will save you time to go and get it yourself. It disappears from the map. I like that. I think 1 or 2 times I got 2 crystals in the same system. One clarification. System is just one planet with couple of different stations and spaceships, maybe. With the press of a button, you can see what's in the system and click wherever you want to go. It shows exactly where it is and how far it is. The interesting thing is that sometimes there is either anomaly, it's just flashing light, shipwreck or pirate hideout. When you go there, you will fight some gang. When you beat the boss, he always drops a container and it's always Secret Service weapon. It's either a front one or a turret. Those are the most powerful weapons in the game. Depending how many systems are in the cluster, you may get up to 3 or 4 weapons. So here is how I optimize the gameplay. I enter a system, check for anomalies, shipwrecks or hideouts and crystals. If there is nothing, I move to the next. That's it. Okay, admit it sounds boring, this is the best way to enjoy the game. There is a point going to almost all the systems. Eventually I'm going to a trade station to resupply with rockets, buy some new gear or repair the ship. The latter one happens when you just enter the station. It's stupid, this should cost money. It makes much more sense. There is also one trade station in each cluster that you can get a side mission, especially in the beginning, they are tons of fun. And what I wanted from this game, a huge space battles. The rewards for doing them are money, key to a hidden system, weapon or a mixture of them. This is my main problem with the game, there is not enough big space battles. When you enter a system there is a 50-50 chance to be attacked by pirates, or at least this was in my case. I'll explain later what I mean. In the trade station you can get mission contracts for money, but they are the same. Kill someone, they even play the same, and it gets boring. It doesn't make a big difference if you take a contract or the random attacks, and this is disappointing. In the beginning there is a couple of different contracts you can take, like taking a pictures of station for a calendar. Yep, it's exciting as it sounds. Other ways to make money, in my case, was shooting pirates. For every kill I get money. Remember those random attacks? Now there is a point not to avoid them. When you get time shock, they end up in seconds. There are other ways to make money. Be a trader or smuggler. There is a reputation system here. I end up being mercenary and bounty hunter because I hunted pirates and they hate me. This means that I will get more often random attacks, but with higher reputation come higher price with every kill. I try trading and it's very simple. Buy something and sell it where they don't have it. It's not very interesting. I guess you can do it in between things. I'm just speculating, but I think if you reach higher level merchant you get better prices. I'm 99% sure this is the case. All gameplay systems are not very deep, so I don't expect something different. Probably smuggling works the same. Every system has something that's forbidden to be sold. If you're smuggling, there is a chance to be scanned by police. This happens even if you don't smuggle. Eventually, I found out by accident that I can outrun the police scans. The ship have afterburner. When I upgraded enough, I was moving so fast for a long period of time and the cop just thought I'm out of range and I dock on the train station. So smuggling can be easy when you upgrade the ship. I'm pretty sure this was not considered. I think it was before half of the game I stopped taking contracts because from shooting pirates, liberating system, selling old weapons, doing story missions, etc. I had enough not to worry about through almost to the end of the game. Selling old weapons, to my surprise, can bring you a lot of money. This is the part where I talk about what other things you can buy from the shop. For smuggling, you can buy jammer, which with every level it has higher chance to block scanning. I think it's up to 90%. You can also buy better afterburner, parts for distributing energy from weapons to front or back shields. Never bought them, found them useless. Everything connected with the energy of the ship and equipment, like one-time recharge for shield, energy or hyperspace activator, and repair bot. They can be lifesavers and very good addition to the gameplay. You have to activate them manually, it adds tension. There are other, but I'm not gonna list them all. At certain point in the game you can buy ore harvester to make some extra cash if you want. If you see in a system asteroid field, you can start shooting the asteroids and there is a chance to get from it some material that you can sell on the trade station. Actually, the ore harvester is required for a story mission. Buy it when you see it because not all trade stations offer everything. It's annoying to go system after system docking on the trade station just to see if they have the part you need to progress. This also applies for the field drive. It makes sense, but it doesn't make it less tedious. There is one thing I have to give it to the developer. You can speed up time. With the press of a button, you speed up the world around you, and this is a godsend. You reach destinations much faster. If this was not there, I doubt that anyone will want to finish the game. The most basic thing, flying, will become really tedious. Sometimes the crystals are really far away, 20-30 units, which in real time means minutes after minutes of doing nothing. The sound design is a mixed bag. The voice acting is average at best. There is an alien race that are based on snakes. All aliens look like some animal that are annoying to listen because they are hissing all the time and speak very slowly.
Coordinates that I have promised you now. Be careful though. Some of the stations have already been the target of Thule drone attacks. I will send a message to all stations that you will be visiting them.
The main characters are not very good. They don't show much emotion and are not developed enough for me to care about them. This is thanks to the writing. Not very good, makes everyone one-dimensional.
Kidnapped Zarkov.
What do you really know about Jack? How do you know if he's actually working with the Thule?
I know he murdered my father. That's enough.
And if you're wrong? If he has nothing to do with the Thule? You're so damn sure of yourself.
I am not wrong. And even if I am, what do you care? It's my hunt, not yours.
Sound effects are decent, lasers sound properly, explosions are good, the ambient in the stations is good, music is there. It's alright but not memorable. For a game that long, it doesn't have enough tracks. You will hear between story missions the same couple of tracks over and over again. While I was editing, I found out that the whole music is inside the game folder and I played it. There is actually some decent tracks, mixed between rock and orchestral music. Some of them I don't even remember. It's because that they've saved the music for the story missions. This doesn't excuse listening the same music over and over again and wanting to turn it off. Not to mention the lines, the same situation, repeating constantly just with different faces. Both can get on your nerves fast. I have other minor problems with the game. The game is designed when you are close to a station, asteroid, ship, even if someone is talking, you can't jump into hyperspace or even speed up for no apparent reason. This is stupid. The AI is fine. All the spaceships fly directly at you, after that they are circling around. The only way they are a threat is when they are high in number. But guess what? Time Shock eliminates almost 100% of that threat. Smaller ships are trying to get behind you, but with strafing, slowing down, you can easily avoid them. Cruisers, on the other hand, are dangerous through the whole game. They don't move much, but can kill you without giving you a chance to escape if you're not careful. Plasma Shield can help, but it doesn't last forever. I found a way to get an easy kill on the boss type ships. You can go behind them, it's very easy, press them to match their speed and follow him. They are even easier than the regular ships. My biggest disappointment was the final mission. I was expecting huge space battle to top the side missions, but no, just wave after wave of the same blue drones. After that you enter the mothership, go into the same looking corridors with the slightly different controls of the ship, shoot a thing, see a cutscene, and you're let loose to travel the galaxy if you want to find every crystal. If you got all of them, the reward is to jump on every point on the map without restrictions. I've done it, but I've been through almost every system without even trying. It's so easy to collect all the artifacts without going on every single system. I felt that the video was becoming too long, so I'm jumping to my conclusion. I know I'm hitting really hard the game, but I had fun, I'm not gonna lie, at least in the first 10 or 15 hours. This was the time when I died the most and enemies felt like a threat. Don't get me wrong, the game is not great, it's alright, but there are too many things small and big that holds it back. The problem is that the game feels like the basis for something much more. None of the systems are deep. For the game of that size, you should put more diversity in every aspect, especially in the gameplay. The battles should escalate gradually. Just look at this, it's a spectacle. The game should have ended with a bang, a grand battle, but it just fizzled out by the end. If you're going to rip Star Wars Attack on the Death Star, rip it completely, not just go inside and blow the thing. The first 10-15 hours can be fun, but you see all the game have to offer. After that, it's up to you to decide if you had enough. Just before I reached the end of the game, I realized something. This is a budget game from 2006 in a dead genre, and it shows all the gameplay systems are simple. If they were more developed, this could be a classic, more in different weapons, grand space battles, and so on. Even now, there are not too many games of this type. I don't know if I'm right, but it kinda clicks with me. I'm aware of the classics, but I was looking for some more arcadey. The game doesn't cost that much nowadays, and if you follow my instructions how to optimize the gameplay, it will take you less time to beat it, and there is something exciting to be overpowered as I was. The game is supposed to be moddable, but not in the extent of something like Skyrim. There is just one mod for the game and it makes the game easy. I played it on medium difficulty and I steamrolled everyone. I don't see the point of that mod. Maybe I just grind more. If you decide to give it a go, just follow what I've told you. Go to a system, check what's around, check the station for a side mission. Once you find it, there is no need to go and look for another one. Check for crystals, visit only the planets with the artifacts, get some contracts in the beginning and you're good to go. There are plenty of dogfights, just wish they were more exciting. For £6.99, it's not a bad deal, just set your expectations.
Excellent, those were the last ones. Our mission has been accomplished. Thank you in the name of our people. Here's your reward.
Imagine house sharing with 500 women.